Passionate Queen of Straight Talk, here again. And today I came across, you know me, you must wonder, how does she come up with this stuff? Every day, something different. No, it is not all in a little book, it's in a variety of spaces. And I came across some article I looked at quickly, and it was about failure and the fear of failure. What is failure? Don't you just hate it? Because I have felt failure so many times in my life. And still, when I was a little baby and didn't know any different, when I was trying to stand up and fell, I just cried and tried again, because that's what you did. That's what a baby would do. You know, when we don't know anything else, it just is what it. I want to go there, says the baby, and I'm going to pull myself up. I'm going to. Oh, but just a minute. Try it this way. Get my feet under me. Oh, how many times does a little baby fall? Then you walk along and hold their little hands, and their little feet go up, and then their feet trip around, and you're really holding them up by their little arms. And failure is how we learned to get up on our feet and walk. Failure. And yet we grow up out of that babyhood, and foolishly we get to school and you get a failing grade, or you have a star grade and the other kid gets a failing grade. You failed. No, that's not right. That's wrong. Well, you know, there we go back to the words and whatever we're taking from it. And were they really trying to be mean and wrong and hard on us? It was just the way it was. That's not the right answer there. It's wrong, and you had a whole lot of those wrong answers, therefore you failed. But think about the light bulb. 10,000 ways it didn't work. So it's not that the word was wrong or misused, even all those decades ago. It was the whole concept and the whole energetic feeling that we decided to wrap around it, you see. So are we really failing? No. But it feels like it. If you look at my article, here's what I have. Don't you just hate it? Feels like falling on our faces. Sheesh. How could have I been so stupid to put myself out there and try that anyhow? What did I think was going to happen? Of course they were going to laugh at me. How was I expecting to be able to shine? Crap. Failure. Failure. I'm so tired of failure. And yet, you know, people, when I would go on my little failure thing, I didn't quite go that far. You know me, I like to add and embellish. But when I would be failing and thinking, oh, I'm not good at that. I mean, when it came to basketball, nobody wanted me on their team. Came to any of the sporty games, nobody wanted me. Oh, I was such a failure. But when I went to choir, or I went to a singing opportunity, they wanted Sandra first because Sandra could sing. But sometimes I'd forget a word. What a failure. Expecting to be perfect so nobody's laughing at us. Oh man, life isn't pretty sometimes. And yet it's such a familiar thing, that churning in the guts when you're thinking, oh, what are they going to say? How are they going to treat me? What a, you know what? What a human being. What a human being. It's such a familiar thing. It just plays and runs its way through everyone's life. Holy moly, I say it right there. If you read the article, I say, holy moly, it's not just me. Whew. So here's what my coach would say. Okay, Sandra, what happened? Well, this and this and this and this and this. And what did you learn about why it didn't work out? Oh, well, I learned this and this and this and this and this. So is that a failure to have learned this? Oh, sheesh, don't you just hate when somebody else is right and it just rains on your pity party? What's the the worst thing going to happen because of it? That's the big question. What's the worst thing? Can you handle it? And actually, as I'm laughing about that, I have over the decades, even when I was young, when I was making a decision, because I've always had a little bit of mischief in me, when I was making a decision, I would think about what's the worst thing could happen? Oh, I could live with that. If I could live with that, then I could go ahead and do it. If the worst thing that could happen was not something I could accept, then that's how I decided I wasn't doing it. So that was my inspection. So simple way back then, and continues to be simple today. What's the worst that can happen? And can I handle that if that happened? And then you start to make your decisions based on what is resonating with you, what is practical, what is reasonable, and still fulfills you while looking after your safety, if you will. And safety, I mean, there's another word we can take apart and talk about. But really, what we have to look at is what's this definition we have of failure? What does it mean? And look for all the wonderful things that have come out of the things that didn't work well. You can call them failures if you want, but don't take that negative energy with it. That failure taught me that that doesn't work. And I really wasn't that big on doing it, truly. It didn't work partly because my passion wasn't there. Or I know it can happen. There's where it fell off the wheel, where the wheels fell off the wagon. Let's adjust it a little bit and go again. Let's adjust a little bit and go again. That's how I would learn to sing. That's how you will learn to walk. Let's adjust, fix it, and go again. So those little failures weren't really failures. They were little learning opportunities. So that's your thought for this evening is what? Try it again? Yeah, everyone, wake up. Wake up. The failure or the fear of failure is just time to reflect and stop it. Stop it. It's time to understand that failure in the old sense that we had in our mind, it's not just in the old sense of the old people in our old past lives. No, in our old heads, not me as the aged one, but our old thought of failure needs to be readjusted into saying, that's why I can learn that this with a little adjustment can work over here. Just to try it again, adjust and try again, and then adjust and try again. And today, Tut from the universe said, the spark for change is change. And for me, change is choosing my words, reflecting on my words, reflecting on my actions and reactions. It's Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk. I know that you can do it. And I know that I can help, but only if you get in touch. Have a good evening.